So, guys, I'm happy that my boy Bobby motherfucking Lashley, one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever lived, is the AEW Tag Team Champion. And I also want to say that I really feel that Tony Khan does not realize that he does have a hydrogen bomb. He does have a really, really great tag team division. And I hope that crazy, Tyrone Biggums, Rick James, snorting that cocaine in the can, baby, a motherfucker realizes that, you know what, he could do a lot of wonders with the tag team division. Like, there's so many amazing teams right now. It's just really, is he going to be on top of that and, really have a direction with people? And I really want to talk about all the teams and things that they can do, really. Like, first of all, there's Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara holding the ROH tag team titles. And, imagine if you did something like, you had them kind of do like champion versus champion at a Ring of Honor show. Because, one thing that I always want to say with Ring of Honor pay-per-views, you have to do what they do with NXT. You have TNA people. Sometimes you have main roster type of people. What would happen if you have a show like, winner takes all, the AEW tag team titles and the ROH tag team titles, and you do that at, Supercard of Honor, really? That would be more star power to see Bobby and Shelton versus, Dustin and Sammy. You can graduate people from Ring of Honor like the Righteous, and you can say something like, you look at Lashley and you look at Shelton, they're bigger body people versus like the skinny people. So, what's going to happen if you have like the Righteous versus Lashley and Shelton? That would be a really great match. And also you can see there could be some other teams on the AW Ring of Honor roster that can like form or come together. The next thing that I want to do is take a little bit of a left turn. You have a few teams that could be good trios wrestlers. So it's good that you have a trios division and a tag team division. So, in the trios division, you have Dustin and the Von Erichs, you have Shane Taylor Promotions, you have the Undisputed Kingdom, and you also have the conglomeration, really. So that's good because that's been one of the issues with AEW. They've taken a lot of the tag teams and made them trios teams, and that's not really worked out. People want good tag team wrestling. And some other teams that you have is you have the Death Riders. You can either do, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, or, Claudio and Pac, really, like a big powerhouse type of person. The next thing is that you have Team rated FTR. So you have FTR within that. You can do something like Copeland and Hobbs, or, you also have another team and LFI who have had no direction, really. Like them and Jake the Snake can be great. You have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. They can be a team. You have Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher if they want to do double duty, or you have Brian Cage and Lance Archer. And, you also have Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens if you want to go in that direction, really, and you also have Private Party, you can bring the Young Bucks, really, but I really think that, like I said, you could really have Bobby Lashley and Shelton hold the tag team titles and run through these teams and do a bunch of dream matches. I think with a lot of these wrestlers, especially Omega and Ospreay, or Fletcher and Takeshita, or Hobbs and Adam Copeland, or I would love to see MJF and Wardlow. There are just so many opportunities to make your tag team, golden and bigger and stronger, really. I actually think MJF should be in the tag team division because he can really add. And I also mentioned, too, the Outrunners, so you can definitely tell a story of, Lashley and Shelton, doing a great job with the tag teams. You're defending it at Ring of Honor shows against Ring of Honor tag teams like Dustin and Sammy, or, even you can do Matt Taven and Mike Bennett one time, or you can do, or the Righteous one time. You can kind of do those teams, or you can put together two big strong people, and you can kind of have a match with them because honestly you want your Ring of Honor shows to stand out, really. But in addition to that, every pay-per-view, imagine if you have the Hurt Syndicate, Lashley and Shelton, and you do something like, okay, well, at a pay-per-view you're going to have Ospreay and Omega, automatically that's a pay-per-view level match. To have them face the Outrunners or Private Party in a rematch, that would be appropriate for All In to build a next generation type of people. You can have, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, even at like Dynasty or another show, really. Like, there's so many opportunities for, that to really, really shine through, really. And I also like the other big thing that you're seeing. You see a lot of big men in this. You see Roosh, you see the Outrunners, you see, like Lashley and Shelton. You also see, like a potentially Hobbs um, and Adam Copeland. You see Rated FTR, really. This is kind of almost like your first division where you have a lot more big men in this, and that's important because we need to kind of see if that is really going to help AEW, because a lot of their divisions, they have they have small people, so try and see what happens, really. But I really think you need to have a lot of people treat that title almost like, if you get that title, it's like you're getting $1 million paycheck a month, really, type of thing. Like, it has to mean everything. It really has to be, everybody wants those titles. Everybody wants to have titles as a form of validation. There has to be a lot of competition and people losing their minds for that title, really, So I think for like AEW Grand Slam or Revolution, you need to have like, maybe a tag team ladder match, or, like have a tag team ladder match, and you do something with that just to kind of say, hey, everybody, here are all these teams. And then at Revolution, it should be like, it should be a team. Like, if you do Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita versus Ospreay and Omega, the winner of that should face Lashley and Shelton for the tag team titles at Revolution, unless you do something where you have Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens, and then what you do is that you have Max Caster fuck that up, and then you set up Bowens versus Max Caster at another pay-per-view. Or you do something like, you say, okay, we can even do something like, Omega and, Omega and Ospreay versus Lashley and Shelton. You do that one pay-per-view, then you do Takeshita and Fletcher at another pay-per-view, and then you do, okay, like Hobbs and Rated FDR at another pay-per-view. Like, there's so many, like, combinations that they can do. There's so many must-see things that they can do. You can do Roosh and Mortos and really make them look like big conquering men, really, So there's a lot of things that they can really do with their tag team division. They don't realize that they have something that can make them a lot of money, that something that can actually revitalize AEW. So I hope Tony Khan realizes this.